Hi everyone, thank you for joining on to this webinar. Today's topic that we'll be looking at is managing stress. A little bit about myself, my name's Nicole. I've done a sport and exercise science degree and I now work as a health advisor for Bupa. Within my role, I promote a positive lifestyle through looking at people's health and well-being. Today we'll be looking at defining stress, the effect stress has on us, and how we can manage it. So what is stress? Stress is the naturally occurring response to an external stimulus when life puts you under a lot of pressure. This response may be physiological or psychological. The body's automatic response to unexpected events is known as the flight or fight response, which are chemicals produced by your body, such as adrenaline, and this will increase your heart rate, breathing rate, and blood pressure to prepare the body to deal with a possible threat. A certain amount of stress can be positive, as it can help you prepare for actions and challenges and to respond to them, giving you an extra burst of energy and focus. For example, when you're playing competitive sport or having to speak in public. On the other hand, too much negative stress, especially over a long period of time, can cause both mental and physical problems. The most common causes of stress-related morbidity in the UK are work problems, family problems, relationships, financial problems, legal problems, and exam stress. And of course, the current situation can combine many of those areas. We're at home more often with stresses from potentially all areas which can get on top of us. In most scenarios, people will adapt and cope with these external stimuli, provided that they are given the correct help and support. Stress is important to look at because if someone is suffering from chronic stress, it can affect brain size, its structures, and how it functions. So what happens when we get stressed? Step 1. A threat is identified, which activates the amygdala, a part of the brain responsible for processing emotions, survival instincts, and memories to send a threat message to the hypothalamus, which in turn tells the sympathetic nervous system to protect you from attack. Step 2. The kickstart of our central stress response system increases heart rate, constricts some blood vessels, and dilates others, and prompts glands to flood the system with cortisol. The hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenocortical, the HPA axis, controls your body's reaction to stress. HPA is instantly activated and releases the hormone cortisol, which primes your body for instant action. Cortisol increases atrial blood pressure, pulling glucose and fat from body tissues into the bloodstream for energy, which explains why appetite is suppressed during acute stress. The pituitary controls in the body regulate body temperature, thyroid activity, and urine production. Hence, when feeling stressed or nervous, you might have felt your palms become sweatier and more frequently needing to use the bathroom. Step 3. Our stress response prepares to physically respond to a threat or danger. However, scientific research has found that if someone is suffering from chronic stress and their levels of cortisol remain high, this can increase the activity level and the number of neural connections in the amygdala, causing the electrical signals in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for learning, memories, and stress control, to deteriorate. The hippocampus can also inhibit the activity of the HPA axis, so when it weakens, so does your ability to control stress. Whilst the brain is processing the unexpected events causing stress, there are many different physiological changes that occur which are noticeable in ourselves and other people. I wonder how many of you have felt one or more of these symptoms on the screen. I know that I have. Sweating is particularly common symptom alongside a faster heart rate and palpitations. Different people will feel these over a range of severities, with one person might not feel how another does. Stress not only affects our brain, but it affects us mentally, emotionally, behaviourally, and physically, and these effects can cause many symptoms. Mentally, we might experience racing thoughts, that we are constantly worrying, having difficulty making decisions, difficulty concentrating, and a lower self-esteem. Emotionally, we might suffer from mood swings, have a shorter temper or feel more irritable and wound up, feel anxious and fearful, or even more emotional, becoming more tearful or sensitive. Behaviour-wise, we might see changes such as drinking and smoking more, changes in appetite, either overeating or not having much of an appetite at all, avoiding social events or not wanting to see friends and family, or disruptions in sleep. Stress can also affect you physically and cause problems such as headaches, muscle tension and pain, dizziness, sleep problems, fatigue, stomachache, nausea, diarrhea or constipation, chest pains or tightness in your chest, and losing your desire to have sex. So when trying to understand stress and how it affects us, a great analogy is to imagine there's a bucket you are carrying around with you, which slowly fills up when you experience different types of stress. The more different types of stress appear in your life, the heavier the bucket becomes. Sometimes you feel strong enough to carry a lot of stress, but it's important to find activities which help you lighten the load and stop the bucket from overflowing. It is therefore important to think about what helps you reduce stress and how you can continue those activities going when other pressures build up. Thinking about the stress bucket together to prompt you and your colleagues or family and friends to take action to build your resilience. We will go on to talk about examples of ways to manage stress in the following slide, including examples such as rest, relaxation, and exercise. So let's have a look at how we can manage stress. Evidence says that there are 5 steps we can take to help our well-being, starting with connect. Social connection helps us feel like we belong and is particularly important at the moment where we're in our houses a lot more than usual. This means we will probably have to nurture relationships with our friends and families in different ways than usual. This will mean that we may have to rely on technology a bit more and to get creative in the ways we can stay connected. For example, use Skype, WhatsApp or video call apps to speak to people and catch up from your own homes. Try going on to games that you can play with friends, for example, Words with Friends, which is similar to Scrabble. Or if you have a games console, you can also play online. On the flip side of this, if you do live with others, then try to switch off from technology while you're with them. Switching off from Facebook, emails, Instagram, and even watching TV for a little bit of time will not only help you relax your mind, but also you'll have more meaningful and engaging conversations with those around you. Be active. As we have all been told before, physical activity is really important. However, there are guidelines at the moment around where and when we can be exercising now. So we need to find a way to keep our bodies moving and endorphins flowing. We are currently allowed to go outside to exercise once per day, but still following social distancing. So if that's something you enjoy, then you can continue to do that, whether that be going on daily run, cycle, or walk. For when we have to stay inside, then it's important for us to find fun things to do. This might be Skype exercise sessions with friends or work colleagues, looking for online classes. There's some free classes and video demonstrations on YouTube, for example. Also, a lot of personal trainers at the moment, yoga and Pilates instructors are doing live Instagram and Facebook classes on their accounts. You can utilise household objects to make your own gym equipment, such as using water bottles or books for weights. Housework counts as physical activity, such as hoovering and cleaning the bathroom. Also, the health advisors at Bupa will soon be putting out some videos through Facebook to give people some ideas about exercise, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, if you don't feel like exercising every day, don't feel bad. Putting a lot of pressure on ourselves can equally impact our mental health. Be kind and look after yourself. Another step to well-being is to take notice. This links to mindfulness, which is a regular practice of noticing what is going on around you. It can help us generate self-awareness and be present in the moment. You can start with just noticing the everyday things that are happening around you. So how can this be done easily? So water, we are washing our hands with a lot more care now. So this point you're perhaps already doing, but you can also do the same in other ways, such as putting your hand in the sun, in the garden or out a window, to feel how the sun feels and the sensation of it warming on your hand. You can learn to do this in a lot of places around the house and take a few moments to focus on what you can see, hear and smell. Be it the smell of different ingredients going into your dinner or the sound of your house first thing in the morning. Alternatively, there are a variety of apps available which you can download to help you practice mindfulness to train your mind and body to be healthier and happier, such as the Headspace app or Insight Timer. Keep learning. It might be that in the current situation, you don't feel like learning something new or adding to the information going around in your head. However, it is beneficial in order to improve our optimism overall. It could be that you want to try learning a new language, and there's a lot of apps to help you do that, such as Duolingo. Or books that you could order through your Kindle or onto your phone, if you have those. Also, the Open University has made their online courses free during this time, so looking on their website, you might find a topic that interests you. It might also be that you want to start cooking new recipes, learning to garden, or reading a new book. The fifth step to well-being is to give. Giving back can really give us a sense of well-being. At this time, that might mean a range of different things. Volunteering through the NHS volunteer scheme, or if it's safe to do so, dropping essential food items at a vulnerable neighbour's door, or picking up essential items on your food shop if someone can't go outside. On this slide you can see links for further support, and the top one shows the Bupa Coronavirus Hub, which is regularly updated with new information. So to summarise, today we've looked at stress and how it affects us, how to relieve it, and the 5 steps to well-being.